Welcome guys, my name is Dr. Avitek. This is JAMB 2026 Expo for Mathematics. This video is as important as everything you've been doing in mathematics. It's as important as all your months of preparation. If you do not watch this video, it is almost same as you not being revealed, you not being exposed to the possibilities of what JAMB could set. So if I were you, if I was taking JAMB this year, I would stick around and watch this very video till the end. Now, I do this every year. That's the beautiful thing. Every single year, I come up with questions that would show up in the examinations. These videos are tested and trusted. I cook them, for me to say. Now, it's a very serious business. JAMB has proven to be an exam that students fail so much, but I am here to make sure that doesn't happen for mathematics at least. So for this year I am bigger and I am stronger this year. Unlike previous years, since 2022, 2023, 24, 25, what I do is I just release one video, 40 questions, one video, and that's all. But I've come to think of it. JAMB exam holds for different days and the questions are not the same. Those who write on the first day, even if it's morning and evening, they don't get the same questions. Those who write in different locations don't even have same questions. And as such, I am here today to let you know that this year we are bigger, we're stronger. So you're not just going to be having one series, there are going to be multiple series. With me here, I have about 120 questions, and I still have about 300 more that I have curated. These questions, oh God, you don't want to miss any of it. So let's get started with the first one. Now, please, as we get started, what you're going to do is very simple. For every question you see on your screen, pause the video, try to solve it, see if your answer is in the option, and then I am going to solve it. Now, it's a very simple thing to do. Remember to hit the subscribe button, like this video, and share it across to everybody. Make sure you share this to everyone. Leave a comment. I know you've been expecting this. A lot of people have been messaging me, expecting it. When would I be releasing it? Now, here is it. Oh, here it is. So let's get started with the first one. So the first one says, the average weight of 15 iron bars is 1,000 kilograms. If the heaviest iron bar is removed, the average weight is reduced by 5 kilograms. You have to find the weight of the heaviest iron bar. Now, I might have a way I solve this because I already understand how it works. But let me show you what is going to happen here. Basically, you have to subtract the two sums. Remember I said pause the video, so you could go back to the question again and pause it, because I might not really write all of the equations every time. It's going to be time consuming for me. So the first one, I'm going to just read it out again. Possibly my questions might show up much more tinier, but let's see how that goes. So the average weight of 15 iron bars is 1,000 kilograms. What does that tell me? Take note that sum is always the mean times the numbers of number of items. That's sum. So look at the first sentence. The average weight of 15 iron bars is 1,000. So what will be the sum of all the iron bars? Because we have 15 numbers, like 15 of them, and they're saying that the average is 1,000 grams. That means the sum of all the 15 together will be 1,000 kilograms times 15. So this will be 15,000. Take note that this formula was found using the mean formula. So this formula is correct. So we have 15,000. This will be the sum of the weight of all the 15. Take note, they said the average. You know, to find average, you divide. Now to get the sum, you then multiply. So now, if you multiply your mean and the number of items, you get the total weight of all of the 15. Now they said that they removed one bar. They removed one of the bars here. And then the average now reduced. Of course, it is going to reduce. So the new sum will then become the mean times the number of items. So what is our mean? They said if the heaviest iron bar is removed, the average weight is reduced by 5 kilograms. So if it's reduced by 5, before it was 1,000. So now that it is reduced by 5, it will now be 995. Reduced by 5 means 1,000 minus minus 5. So that will give you let me go again. Reduced by 5, if this 1,000 and you minus 5, this will be 995. Times how many rod or how many bars would we have? If there were 15 and you remove one of them, that means you have 14 remaining. Now if you multiply this, you should have 19,930 kilograms, if I'm not mistaken. Now what do you notice? When you sum the 15 of them, you get 15,000. When you sum 14, you've removed one. When you sum 14, you get 13,930. What does this tell you? That what is going to be removed there, the heaviest iron bar that was removed. To get it, you have to say 15,000 minus this. Because this was value when the 15 were together. Then this value was when it was now 14. So to know what has been removed, you need to subtract this. And when you subtract it, you get 1070. So this would now be the value of the heaviest iron bar. Let's move to question number 2. A very interesting question. The table above shows the weight of 12 mathematics students. You have to find the modal weight. I like this question very well. Now, how would I solve this very equation? So, if you look at the table, we have number of students. So let me go back to the equation. There are number of students. X, 1, 2x, 2, and 3. But then, when you read the equation, it says weight of 12 students. So it means the total number of students is what? 12. So what do we do? Let's add up the weight. Sorry. Let's add up the number of students. So we have x plus 1 plus 2x plus 2 plus 3. This should give us 12. It should give us 12 because we need to add up the number of students to give us the 12 they said in the equation. Now, s plus 2s is 3x. 1 plus 2 is 3. 3 plus 3 is 6. And this will be equal to 12. Now, this is 3x equal 12. If my plus 6 goes well, it's going to become minus 6. So this will be 3x equal to 6. So x will be 6 over 3. So that's 2. Now that we've gotten the value of x, let me kind of make a sketch of that table. We've got 54x. We have 56 is 1. We have 58 is 2x. We have 60 is 2. And we have 62, which is 3. So this is the table. Now, we know the value of x as 2. So what will I do? Anywhere I see x, I'm going to put 2. So this is x, I'm going to put 2. This is 2x. So if s is now 2, 2 times 2 is 4. So now, the question is, what is the modal weight? Mode is the one with the highest frequency. The highest frequency here is 4. So which weight has 4? 58. So the answer is going to be 58 kilograms. So that is the weight of the modal, or that's the modal weight. Let's go to the next one, question 3. Given that cos A is 12 over 13, for 0 degrees less than or equal to A, less than or equal to 90, you have to find tan A. So question 3, cos A is 12 over 13. 0 degrees less than A, less than 90. Now, this tells us where the angle would be. This is going to be in the first quadrant. Hopefully, I'll make a video about this. So it's going to be in the first quadrant. In the first quadrant, all trig values are positive in the first quadrant. So let's solve the problem. Remember from SOHCAHTOA, that cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse. So this will be adjacent over hypotenuse. Now what's the third side? Opposite. There's no opposite here. Then we're going to say, remember that from Pythagoras, hypotenuse squared is opposite squared plus adjacent squared. What is the hypotenuse? It's 13. So this is 13 squared equal. What is the opposite? We don't know. So it's going to remain like that. What is the adjacent? Adjacent is 12. So this will be 12 squared. Now 13 squared is 169 equal opposite squared plus what is 12 squared? 144. Now I can take the 144 to this other side. So this becomes 169 minus 144 equal to opposite square. What is 169 minus 144? That's 25 equal to opposite square. So remove square, I will take the square root of 25. So this will become opposite. Now what's square root of 25? That's 5 equal to the opposite. And then we're asked to find tan A. From SOHCAHTOA, tan is opposite over adjacent. Now the opposite has been solved for as 5. The adjacent is 12. So the answer to that very question is going to be D, 12 over 13. Let's go to the next one, question number 4. Question 4. It says, if cos theta is x over y, we're to find tan theta in terms of x and y. Now it's very similar to this one, very, very similar to this. So cos theta is x over y. Remember I said this is adjacent over hypotenuse from SOHCAHTOA. So let's find the third side. Hypotenuse squared is equal opposite squared plus adjacent squared. The hypotenuse in this case is y, so this will be y squared. The opposite is not known, but the adjacent is x, so adjacent is x. Now I can take this plus s squared to this other side. So this will be y squared minus x squared, because plus will change to minus, equal to opposite squared. Now how do we remove square? We take the square root of the other side. So this will be the square root of y squared minus x squared equal to the opposite. Now what does the equation tell us? The equation says that we should find the value of tan theta. So tan from SOHCAHTOA, tan is opposite over adjacent. So the opposite is the square root of y squared minus x squared over what is our adjacent? Come back to the equation. Adjacent is x. So this should be the answer, and that's going to be D. The answer to that question is going to be D. Let's go to number 5. Which of the following angles cannot be constructed using a protractor, a compass, and a sharpened pencil? Which of the following cannot be constructed with it? Now, take a look at this. There are some angles that are easily constructed in classical constructions. So A, we have 145. B, we have 90. C, we have 60. D, we have 135. So, which of the following? Take note first. 90 can be constructed with the above, because 90 is very easy. You put a line here, you draw a line, have a semicircle. Do not adjust the length of the compass. Put your pin here and cut here. Put your pin here and cut here. Then put another pin, you cut this side like of your compass, then another one here. What you've constructed is 90 degrees. So 90 degrees, it is indeed possible. How about 60? Yes, because this mark you see here, when you put it right here, this mark is 60, so you can. Now how about 135? That's very easy, because 135 is 90 plus 45. And if we can construct 90, to get 45 is just to bisect the 90. So it's possible. So 145 is going to be the answer. You cannot construct 145 using just the tools here in classical constructions. So that would be the answer to that very question. The answer is A. So let's move on to the next question. All right, so this is number 6. Question 6 says, given the triangle XYZ above, calculate the value of cot theta and the length XY respectively. Now, here's a very simple problem. We want to find cot theta. First things first, you need to know that cot theta is 1 over tangent. Cot is 1 over tan. So this means that tan theta, what is tan on a normal day? Tan is opposite over adjacent. So let's get this first. Now looking at our angle theta, this is the opposite. This will be the opposite to angle theta. This is going to be the hypotenuse. And then this will be the adjacent. Now, clearly, we don't know what the adjacent will be. We don't know what the adjacent will be. So let's say the adjacent is x in this. No, there's already x. Let's say it's a. So let's find it. We know that from Pythagoras, hypotenuse squared is equal opposite squared plus adjacent squared. So the hypotenuse in this case is 13. So this will be 13 squared. The opposite to the angle is 11. So this is 11 squared plus adjacent squared, which we do not know. So that's just a squared. 13 squared is 169. 11 squared is 121 plus adjacent, which is a squared. Now I can take this 121 to the other side and it becomes a minus. So this is 169. Take away 121 equal to a squared. When you subtract, you're going to have 48 equal to a squared. Now to remove square, we take the square root. So this will be the square root of 48 equal to a. Now mind you, this very a that we found is xy. The a that we found is xy. So this is the same thing as xy. Same thing as xy. Now tan theta is known to be opposite over adjacent. So the opposite to the angle is 11. Adjacent to the angle was what we solved for, and that's the square root of 48. But the equation does not say we should find tan. The equation says find cot. Now cot is 1 over tan. So if you have a fraction and you take 1 over that very fraction, what you are doing is you are flipping the fraction. So cot theta is 48 root 48 divided by 11. That is what cot theta would be. This is cot theta. It's going to be root 48 over 11. You flip the fraction. So that's the answer. Now for revision purposes, should in case this is changed, take note, let me not just give cot. Cosec theta is 1 over sine theta. Sec theta is 1 over cos theta. And then cot theta, like I've said, will be 1 over tan theta. So just take note of these guys. Next one, question 7. Okay, just before we go to the next one, the equation says calculate the value of cot theta. Let's come back to question 6. The value of cot theta and the length of xy. So this is cot theta, root 48 over 11, comma, then xy is root 48. So the answer to the equation is going to be A. I didn't say the answer, that's why I had to come back. So question 7. Question 7 says, from the figure above, find the area of the triangle PQR. So we're talking about area here. Remember that area of a triangle is half base times height. Half base times height. Now, though this triangle was turned around, but if you look at this 13, the 13 is the height. The 13 is the height. And where it's leading to is the base. So you're going to add this to 11 plus 9 is 20. So this will be 1 over 2 times 20. The height is 13. Take note, it's called height because it's perpendicular. It must be perpendicular. So 2 here is 1 and into 20 is 10. So 10 times 13 is 130. So the area will be 130 centimeters squared. And that's A. Question 8. Question 8 says, the figure below is a pie chart. Use it to find in degrees those who are doctors. So use it to find those who are doctors. Now, it's a very simple thing. First, every single thing we have here are numbers. For example, 16 people are doctors, 24 people are lawyers, 27 people are teachers, 21 people are information technologists, and 8 are engineers. But then, this is not in degree. So how do we get it in degree? First off, let us sum everybody. Let us sum everybody. So that would be 8 plus 16 plus 24, plus 27, plus 21. So you add this up, this is 24, 24, that's 48, 48 here, this will give 69, 69 here, this will give 96. So there are 96 people in total. There are 96 people in total. Now, as an angle, we're going to say that these very doctors, because we need those who are doctors. How many are doctors? 16. So this will be 16 divided by 96 times 360 degrees. That's how you get the value of doctors as an angle. So it's going to be 16 times 360 divided by that. And if you should multiply everything here, you're going to get 84 degrees. So 84 degrees are going to be doctors. So that's it. Let's move on to question number 6. Question number 6 says, simplify 125 to the power of negative 1/3 times 49 to the power of negative half times 10 to the power of 0. All right, so what I will do is this. Remember, always pause the video when you have a question in front of you. Attempt it. It's very important. In the exam, I may not be there to really help you simplify, so try your best to attempt. It must not be correct, just attempt the question. All right, so what we're going to have here is 1 to 5. Now in indices, if you've got 1 to 5, when 5 goes into 1 to 5, you get 5, you get 25, sorry. 5 again, you get 5, 5 again is 1. So this means 125 is going to be 5 cubed. Because it's 5 in 3 places, 1, 2, 3. Okay, and then I'm going to say times the minus 1 over 3 that has been here before. Then times 49 to the power of negative half. Now 49 is 7 squared. And we're going to say times negative 1 over 2. Well, when anything is raised to 0, it's going to be 1. Now 3 we cancel out 3, 2 we cancel out 2 here. So what's left is 5 to the power of minus 1 times 7 to the power of minus 1. I can just throw away the 1. It's not important. Now when you take the inverse of something, you're basically saying 1 over 5, and then here 1 over 7. Now when this multiplies, this will give you 1 over 35. And the answer becomes B. So that is the answer. The next one, question number 10. So you have to solve for y in the square root of 75 minus square root of 12 plus square root of 27 equal y root 3. Okay, so this is what we have. So we have to find y here. What do I do, or what do we do? So first of all, this is the square root of 75. In Surds, we're going to try to break this sort down. So 75 is actually 25 times 3. Then 12 is 4 times 3. And then 27 is 9 times 3. Now, why am I putting 3, 3, 3? Because I know that the answer is y root 3. So it means there are going to be 3's inside. Because my final answer is y root 3. So everything should have a 3. So basically you can say what is 75 divided by 3? You get 25. So this means 75 is 25 times 3. And this will equal y root 3. Now what is the square root of 25? That's going to be 5. What is the square root of 3? There's no answer to that. So it's going to stay the same. Then minus, what is the square root of 4? 2. Then square root of 3, no answer. So it's going to stay the same. Plus square root of 9 is 3. Then the square root of 3 equal y root 3. Now if you notice, every single thing here have a root 3. Hence, it's a like term, or they are like terms. What is 5 minus 2? That will be 3. Then what is 3 plus 3? That will be 6. So this will be 6 root 3 equal y root 3. Now take note, what I did here is because they are like terms. It's just like saying we have 5x minus 2x plus 3x. This will give 6x. So that's just what happened here. So this is going to give 6 root 3. Now by comparison, if you compare, y is the number in front of root 3. What is that number in front of root 3 here? 6. So y is equal to what? 6. But then, if you go back to the equation, and look at the option, it doesn't seem like there's going to be an answer. Because y is just equal to 6. Now, it is a known fact that JAMB make mistakes. It's so sad. It happens. So this very equation, the answer is y equal to 6. But because the answer doesn't exist in the options, it is best you pick 6 root 3 as the correct answer to the equation. But mathematically, the answer is just 6, not 6 root 3. So I would pick that one as the answer. So let's move on to the next question, question number 11. Question 11 says, find the value of t for which half to the power of t take away 1 is equal to 64. So we have half to the power of t take away 1 equals 64. So this is question 11. So what do we do in this case for this question? Here's what we're going to do. So this is, this 1 over 2 can actually be written as 2 to the power of minus 1. Yeah, you can actually write that. You can actually do that. Equal to 64 is 2 to the power of 6. Let's do it here. So this is 64. Divide by 2, you get 32. Divide by 2 again, you get 16. Divide by 2, you get 8. Divide by 2, you get 4. Divide by 2, you get 2. Divide by 2, you get 1. So how many 2's do we have here? There are 6 of them. So that's 2 to the power of 6. Now on this side, this will be 2. Minus 1 will multiply this because they are now powers. So this is minus 1 bracket t minus 1 equal 2 to the power of 6. Now 2 can take care of 2, so this means the powers are the same. So minus 1 to the power of t minus 1, minus 1 times t minus 1 is equal to 6. Minus 1 times t is minus t. Minus 1 times minus 1 is plus 1 equal to 6. So this will be minus t equals 6. I can take the plus 1 to the other side. So this will then become minus 1. So this is minus t equal to 5. But then, I don't need the minus to be with the t. I need the minus to be here. So t is equal minus 5. And A will be the answer to that very equation. Let's move on to the next one, number 12. We have to solve the simultaneous equation, x over 2 take away y over 5 equal to 1, and y take away x over 3 equal to 8. So we're asked to solve this. Here's what I would do. So first, I don't like fractions. So I'm going to multiply by the LCM. So the LCM here is 10. 2 times 5 is 10. So I'm going to multiply every single thing by 10. So this will become, Alright, so let's times everything by 10. This will be 10 times x over 2 minus 10 times y over 5 equal 10 times 1. So 2 and this will be 5. 5 into 10 will give 2. So what's left to become 5x minus 2y equal to 10. So I'd like to call this equation 1. Now for this next equation, this is 3. This is 3. So I'm going to say y take away x over 3 is equal to 8. I'm going to multiply everything by 3 because this is the only fraction here. So multiply everything by 3. This will become 3 times y minus 3 times x over 3 equal 3 times 8. 3 will cancel out 3. So this will be 3y take away x equal 24. Now take note, this is x here. I can easily make x the subject of the formula so that I use substitution method. It's a simultaneous equation. So I want to use substitution method to solve the equation. So I'm going to say from equation 2, let's make s the subject. I can take this s to this side. It's minus here. It's negative here. So when I take it to this side, it becomes positive. Then I can bring the 24 to this side. So this will be 3y take away 24 equal to x. It's as easy as that. So I've made x the subject. So now, anywhere I see x in this expression, I'm going to be putting 3y minus 24. So I'll put x equals 3y minus 24 in equation 1. So equation 1 says 5x take away 2y is equal to 10. So this will be 5 into 3y take away 24, then minus 2y equal to 10. 5 times 3y is 15y. 5 times 24 is 120. Then take away 2y equal to 10. 15 take away 2y will give 13y equal 10. If this minus 120 goes by, it becomes plus 120. So this will be 13y equal to 130. Y will then become 10. When you divide both sides by 13, you get y as 10. Now what would I do? I can put this very value of y back into any of the equations. So I want to use this one because I'm trying to find the value of x. So I'll put it into this very one. So I'll say put y equal 10 in equation 3. Maybe this is equation 3. Take note that you don't need to show your workings, please. You don't need to show workings. So x is equal to 3y take away 24. So this will be 3 times 10 minus 24. This will be 30 minus 24. So that's 6. And with that, the answer to the equation, x is 6, y is 10. Okay, though none of the options seems correct, but we just have to change it. I think there's a typo there. But in case this happens in the exam, let's see. X is equal to 6, y is equal to 10. There's no option like that. But in case this happens, I don't want to say I would suggest not answering because I don't think JAMB has the conscience to give bonus. I don't think they do. I think every single question must have an answer. So what I would advise you do is to pick A, which is the reverse. But that's wrong mathematically. Hopefully that was just a typo and it was corrected later on. But let's move on. So question 13. Question 13. So if A is equal to theta over 360 pi r squared, you have to make theta the subject of the formula. This is a very simple question. It's like a walk in the park. So A is equal to theta over 360 degrees pi r squared. Now take note, what this means is that it's actually with the top. So this is the same thing as A equals theta pi r squared over 360 degrees. That's what it means. And then I can say over 1 here and cross multiply. So 1 times this will give me theta pi r squared. Then A will times 360. So this is 360 degrees A. I'm trying to make theta the subject. So I need to divide both sides by pi r squared. So theta will become 360 degrees A divided by pi r squared. So that will be the answer to the equation, and that's A. So A is the answer to that equation. Number 14. Let's move on. Find the number of permutation of the letters of the word school. So remember, you can pause the video and try to see how you can solve it. So we're going to be doing school. Now, to answer a question like this, what you do is, how many letters do we have here? This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this would be 6 factorial divided by, do we have repetitions? Of course, we have 0. Sorry, I said 0. This is O. So O, there are 2 in number, so this will be 2 factorial. Now, there are no repetitions anymore, so that should be the answer. But then, the equation was not put, the equation was not written as in the form of a factorial. So let's break this down. What is 6 factorial? 6 factorial is 6 times 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. Divided by what is 2 factorial? That would just be 2. But you can say 2 times 1. So this will take care of this. Now when you multiply, 6 times 5 is 30. 30 times 4 is 120. 120 times 3 is 360. So the answer to that question will be D, 360. Let's move on to the next one. The word handler can be arranged in how many ways? So that will be question number 15. Give it a try first. First of all, how many letters do we have here? We have 7 letters. So that's 7 factorial. And in fact, there are no repetitions. So it's just going to be 7 factorial. And 7 factorial is 7 times 5. 7 times 6 times 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. And this will give you 5040. So that's what you're going to be getting as 7 factorial. Question number 16 is an interesting one. I love it. So question 16. You have to find the derivative of y equals sine 4x. So y is equals sine 4x. To find derivative means to find dy dx. So we have dy dx. So since the trig function, the first thing you want to do is to differentiate the angle. So this is 4x. When you differentiate 4x, you're going to get 4. You can take a look at differentiation again. I don't have any videos on that, but hopefully I might make one. Times, when you differentiate sine, you get cos. Then you put the angle back, 4x. So this is 4 cos 4x. Now when this multiplies, we're going to have 4 cos 4x, and that becomes the answer to the equation. So that's A. And with this will be the answer to our equation. Let's move on to the next one, question 17. Question 17. Given the progression 3, 5, 7, 9, and down to infinity, you have to find the expression for the n minus 2 term of the progression. This is an easy one. So first, give it a try. Pause the video, give it a try, and then you can turn back to the video for your solution. So question 17. So we have 3, 5, 7, 9, and just like that. Now first, what do you notice about this progression? This progression has to be an AP, because you notice that whenever you add 2 to the previous one, you get the one in the future. 3 plus 2 is 5, 5 plus 2 is 7, 7 plus 2 is 9. Now the first number we have is 3. The common difference is 2, because we're always adding 2 to get the next one. Always adding 2 to get the next one. Now remember that the nth term of an AP is a plus n minus 1 into d. Do you recall? This is the formula for the nth term of an AP. But now, they don't need us to find the nth term, they say the n minus 2 term. So anywhere you see n, we're going to be putting n minus 2. So this n now becomes your n minus 2. That's what it means. So I'll see n minus 2. Now our a is 3 plus n minus 2 minus 1 is minus 3. Our common difference is 2. So this will be 3 plus n times 2 is 2n, minus 3 times 2 is minus 6. So this will be 2n, 3 minus 6 is minus 3. So that will be the answer to that very question. The answer to that is D. Alright, let's move on to the next one, question 18. Remember to hit the subscribe button, like this video, and share it across to your friends, your families, everyone. So question 18. The second term and the fifth term of a GP are 1 and 1/8 respectively. You have to find the common ratio. Again, pause the video and give it a try. So, question 18. The second term, the first thing you need to know is the nth term of a GP is AR to the power of n minus 1. So when it says the second term, this will be AR. Second means n will now be 2. So this is 2 minus 1. And they said that's equal to 1. So this will be AR equal to 1. I could call this equation 1. The next is fifth term. So this will become AR 5 minus 1 equal 1/8. So this will become AR 5 minus 1 is 4 equal to 1/8. So this is my equation 2. Now in this case, to solve this, I'm going to be dividing both equations. So I'm going to be saying, I'm going to be saying AR to the power of 4, which is equal to 1/8. I'm going to be dividing this by AR and dividing this by 1. So what I did was this over this, this over this, this over this, this over this. Alright, so A will cancel out A. This is R to the power of 4. This is R to the power of 1. Using the laws of indices, this will be R cubed because we have to see 4 minus 1. So that's 3. Now 1/8 over 1 is still 1/8. So this is R cubed equal 1/8 is 2 to the power of 3. So this will be R cubed equal, you see this 2 to the power of 3, I can actually write this as 1/2 everything to the power of what? 3. So 3 will take care of 3, this means R is 1/2. And that will be the answer to your question. So the answer is going to be C. That's for that very one. Let's move on to question 18. Sorry, that's 19. Question 19. Given that A operation B is A plus B divided by AB plus A take away B, we have to find the value of 3 operation 2. So this topic is binary operation. That's where this topic lies. So A operation B is equal A plus B divided by AB plus A minus B. I want to find 3 operation 2. What you do is to just compare. So A is equal to 3, then B is equal to 2. So anywhere I see A here, I'm going to call it 3. Anywhere I see B, I'm going to call it 2. So that's what I just did. When you see A, you put 3. When you see B, you put 2. So 3 plus 2 here will give me 5. 3 times 2 is 6. Then plus 3 minus 2 is 1. Now the answer to this will then become 1 on number 5 over 6. Because 5 over 6 plus 1 will just be 1 on number 5 over 6. So that will be the answer to that very equation. That was a very easy one. Let's take a look at the next problem, question number 20. So 20 says, well, to integrate the function y equal 3x squared plus 2x minus 5. Now to integrate, so we're to integrate y with respect to x. So let's integrate this. This will be 3x. Now we have a 2 here. So to integrate, we'll say 2 plus 1 over 2 plus 1. And then plus 2x. This will become, there's an invisible 1 here. So this is 1 plus 1 over 1 plus 1 minus 5. This is a constant. So when you're integrating a constant, you give that very constant an x. And then plus c. You must always, they use a plus k. So it's either a plus c or a plus k. Now this will equal 3x. 2 plus 1 is 3, then over 3, minus, that's a plus, 2x squared over 2, minus 5x plus k. Now 3 we cancel out 3, 2 we cancel out 2. So what's left is x cubed plus x squared, take away 5x plus k. So this will be the answer if you're asked to integrate this very function. Let's take a look at the next problem, question 21. So for this one, you must try it out yourself. Try it out yourself. It says an amount of 600,000 was released when a principal Y was saved at 5% simple interest for 4 years. You have to find the value of Y. So here's what we're going to do. First of all, what will be the interest? Interest is P root T. So our principal amount was Y. Our rate was 5%, so that's 5 over 100 times the time was 4 years. Now, this will be Y times 5 times 4 is 20 over 100. So this will be Y times 20 over 100 is 0.2. Because 0 we cancel 0. 2 over 10 is 0.2. Just move your decimal point once. So this will be 0.2y. So this is what we have. Next thing is this. Remember that amount is always principal plus interest. So the amount in the equation was 600,000. The principal was y and the interest was 0.2y. So this will be 600,000 equal y plus 0.2y is 1.2y. This is an invisible 1 here. So 1 plus 0.2 is 1.2. Now to get y, we must divide both sides by 1.2. So 600,000 divided by 1.2 will give 500,000. And this will be the principal amount. This is what our principal amount would be. So the answer is 500,000. Let's take a look at question 22. So question 22 says, express the fourth root of 0.16 in standard form. So the first thing you want to do is this. You see, 0.16 fourth root can be written as the power of 1 over 4. Exactly, that's what it means. It can be written as that very value. Now the next thing for us to do is 0.16 is actually 16 times 10 to the power of minus 2. So in standard form, you have 0. I can really line here. So that line is not straight. So 0.16 is actually, I'm going to move 1, 2. So this is 16 times 10 to the power of minus 2. Now the equation is 0.16 to the power of 1 over 4. So this will be 16 times 10 to the power of minus 2 to the power of 1 over 4. Now the 16 you see here is 2 to the power of 4. 16 is 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. So that's 16. And then times 10 to the power of minus 2 to the power of 1 over 4. Now, you could expand this. So this will become 2. We're going to say 4 times 1 over 4. And then times 10, we have a minus 2 times 1 over 4. Now 4 we cancel out 4 here. So this is 2 times 10. Now 2 here is 1, 2 into 4 is 2. So what will be remaining is minus 1 over 2. And with this, the answer to that question becomes C. So C is 2.0 times 10 to the power of minus 1 over 2. Remember to hit the subscribe button, like this video, and share it across to everyone you have on your contact list. So the next one is question 23. A banker spends 1/5 of his salary on shirts, 1/3 of the remainder on transport, and kept the rest for contingencies, that is emergencies. What fraction was left? Now first things first, for shirts, he spent 1/5 of his money. Now, if this is 1/5 that he has, what will be remaining from his salary? Now as a fraction, the remainder will be 1 take away 1 over 5. So if someone took 1 out of 5, what will be left to be 4 over 5 or 4 out of 5? Let me explain again. So his salary, he used 1 out of 5 to buy shirts. Out of 5, so there were 5 divisions. He took only 1. That means what's remaining will be 4 out of 5. Next, for transport, he actually took 1 over 3 off this remainder. So 1 over 3 times 4 over 5. So 1 times 4 is 4, 3 times 5 is 15. And then he kept the rest for contingencies. So for emergencies, for shirts, he spent 1 over 5. Plus, for transport, he spent 4 over 15. So to know how much he's going to be keeping for emergencies, it's going to be 1 minus the total that he has spent already. That would be the value, because total, he has spent 1 over 5 and he has spent 4 over 15. So you need to add this up first. Now to get what's remaining, you're going to say 1 minus that very value, because your fraction is a whole amount, so it's going to be seen as 1. Now this will be 1 takeaway. The LCM here will be 15. 15 divided by 5 is 3. 3 times 1 is 3. Plus 15 divided by 15 is 1. 1 times this will give us 4. So this will be 1 takeaway 7 out of 15. Now what's 15 minus 7? That's 8. So this will be 8 over 15. So that will be the answer to that very equation. A. You can do LCM there. You are still going to be getting your answer. Question 24. Given the construction in the figure above, what is angle XYZ? Now, the thing is this, look at this diagram. If you're someone who has done construction before, you would notice that when you draw a straight line, listen up please, when you draw a straight line, the next thing you do is to use your compass to draw a semicircle. When you've drawn that semicircle, do not increase the length or widen it up, just leave it like that, and then put your pin here and cut one side. When you've cut this side, from the center, what you have drawn is 60 degrees. So this angle right here is 60 degrees. That is the answer to the equation. So let's move on to the next one. So the next one says, question 25, calculate the interior angle of a 5-sided regular polygon. Now, if you look at the equation I feel was not typed properly. It should have been find the value of each interior angle of a 5-sided regular polygon. Anyways, here's what the question is asking us to find. First things first, what is the sum of interior angles? Sum of interior angles of any polygon. It's going to be n minus 2 times 180 degrees. That's the formula. So for a 5-sided polygon, that means the side is 5. So this is 5 minus 2 times 180. Now 5 minus 2 will give us 3 times 180. And 3 times 180 is 540. If the equation says the sum of the interior angle, the answer is 540. But the equation is saying we should find the interior angle. So since it's a regular polygon, meaning all the sides are equal. So each interior angle will become the sum that we have gotten, the sum of the angles, which is 540, divided by the number of sides. Let me explain why this is correct. Let me explain. A regular polygon has all the sides equal. So all the angles equal. The angles inside are going to be equal. Now, if you need the value of one of them, you already know that they all add up to 540. If each 5 of them are all equal, to get one, all you have to do is to divide by 5. So this will then give you 108 degrees. So that will be the answer to that question, and that's going to be B. I don't think this was properly typed. I think I was one that did not type this correctly. The answer is 108, so that should be B. The next one, question 26. It says convert 137 to base 5. 137 to base 5. So all we have to do is, it's already in base 10. So all we have to do is to start dividing by 5. So when we start with 13 divided by 5, we know that 10 is here, so this will be 2. Then I'm going to put a 3 here. 37 divided by 5, this should give us 7. Because 7 times 5 is 35. So the remainder will be 2. When 5 goes again, 27 divided by 5, the closest will be 5. So this will be 5 remainder 2 again. When 5 divides, 5 over 5 is 1. And there's no remainder, so that's 0. Now we have to divide again because there should be no number here. 1 divided by 5 is 0, remainder 1. So we're going to take our arrow upwards. So 137 is equal to 1022 base 5. So that's the answer to the equation, and that will be A. Let's move on to question 27. Question 27 says if 54 base 10 is equal to x base 4. Find the value of x to 3 decimal places. Like I said, sometimes you just type some nonsense. You just type some rubbish. Remember, these questions are what, see, you will see questions like this. You must see them. So you just type nonsense. There's no such thing as decimal places here. So we're told that 54 is equal to x in base 4. All we have to do is to change this very 54 to base 4. So all we have to do is to divide. So let's divide the same way we did here. So when 4 goes in, the closest 5 divided by 4 will be 1. Then I'm going to put a 1 here. 14 divided by 4, that has to be 3, remainder 2. When 4 goes again, 13 here, the closest that you can divide is 12. So 12 over 4 is 3, remainder 1. When 4 goes again, this will be 0, remainder 3. So you take this arrow upwards, so this will be 312 in base 4. So that's what x will equal to. So let's move on to the next question. Question 28. Solve x squared plus 3x minus 4 less than or equal to 0. Now you have to be very careful with quadratic inequalities. You don't just jump at it or unless you already know it. So we have x squared plus 3x minus 4 less than or equal to 0. So let's factorize this first of all. What are the two numbers you multiply to give minus 4? Add the same numbers you get plus 3. The numbers are 4 and minus 1. 4 times minus 1 will give you minus 4. And then 4 minus 1 will give you 3. Now since the number here is just 1, the quotient is 1, I'll just say this is x plus 4 into x minus 1. That's what it's going to factorize because the numbers are 4 and minus 1. Okay, now between this and this, which of them is smaller? The s minus 1 is smaller. So this smaller one, we take the sign in the equation. So x minus 1, we take this sign in the equation. Or this very one, s plus 4, we take the opposite, which is greater than or equal to 0. So this is x less than or equal to 1, or s greater than or equal to what? Minus 4. So I'll take the plus 4 to this other side to become minus 4. Now take a look at this. Now, between 1 and minus 4 is smaller. If x is greater than minus 4, this means that minus 4 is much more smaller because s big person, s is bigger. So this means minus 4 will be smaller. So minus 4 will be less than or equal to x. Now the same x is less than or equal to 1. So this is what we have. So that will be the answer. And that's going to be B. So that's the answer. Let's move on to the next one, question 29. You have to solve the inequality 2s plus 3 greater than 5x minus 8. Okay, now for this one, let's do it this way. So this is 2x. If this 5x comes here, it's going to become minus 5x greater than minus 8. If the plus 3 goes there, it's going to become minus 3. 2x minus 5x is minus 3x greater than minus 8 minus 3 is minus 11. Now you have to divide both sides by minus 3. Now if you're dividing by a negative number in inequality, you have to change this sign. So minus 3x divided by minus 3, the greater than will now change to less than, minus 11 over minus 3. Now when this cancels out, x will be less than 11 over 3. Now, 11 over 3, how can we write that as a mixed fraction? So this will become 3 whole number 2 over 3. That's what the answer should be. Unless, of course, let me see. Yep, that's what it has to be. I think, unless this was supposed to be plus. I'm so sorry about that. I think this should have been plus. But you get the picture now. This is what the answer should be. So let's put a plus here. Sorry about that. Let's put a plus here. This has to be plus. Okay. Now if this is plus, 8 minus 3 will give us 5. Sorry about this. To give us 5. I want the answer to be in the option. That's why. So this is 5. And then what we have is this is now 5 divided by minus 3. So this will be minus 5 over 3. Now, we're going to write out minus. What is 5 over 3? This will be 1 on number 2 over 3. Yep, and with this, the answer is now in the option. So the answer is A. I wanted the answer to be in the option. That's why I had to change everything. So let's move on to the next one. The next one is question 30. It says, what is the minimum value of y equal to minus 4x minus 2x squared? Okay, now there are different ways to solve this problem. So I don't want to use calculus to solve it. Let me use algebra to solve it. So first, let me use calculus, sorry. So dy dx, because you guys like calculus. When you differentiate 2, you get 0. When you differentiate minus 4x, you get minus 4. And then when you differentiate minus 2x squared, you get minus 4x, because 2 times 2 will give us 4. Now, at that point, where the curve it's not increasing and it's not decreasing, that turning point, the value of dy dx must be 0. So at max or min, the value of dy dx must equal to 0. So this answer we have here, minus 4x minus 4 minus 4x must equal 0. So minus 4 is equal plus 4x. Because if this minus 4x comes, so it's going to become plus 4x. Now to get your x, divide both sides by 4. So minus 4 over 4 is equal to 4x over 4. So when this cancels out, x is equal to minus 1. Now, remember that y is equal to minus 4x minus 2x squared. Take note, if the equation says find the value of x at which this is minimum or at which it is maximum, you stop here because it says find the value of x. But if it says what is the minimum value or what is the maximum value, you must take this number and put it back into the original curve or the original function. So we know y is 2 minus 4x minus 2x squared. So anywhere I see x, I'm going to be putting minus 1. So this will be 2 plus 4 minus 2. And then that's 4. And in fact, this should be called, this should be called a maximum value. I don't know why, sometimes they just set equations. This kind of curve cannot have a minimum value. It can only have a maximum. Anyway, let's continue. Number 31. We have to find the coordinate of the midpoint of the line PQ given by P bracket minus 3, 4 and Q bracket 5, 6. So here's what we have to do. So our P is at minus 3, 4. Our Q is at 5, 6. So this is x1, y1, while this is x2, y2. Every point must have x and y. Since this is the first point, I'll call this x1, y1, then this x2, y2. Midpoint is x1 plus x2 over 2, y1 plus y2 over 2. So our x1 is minus 3, plus x2 is 5 over 2, y1 is 4, plus y2 is 6 over 2. Minus 3 plus 5 is 2 over 2. Then 4 plus 6 is 10 over 2. Now 2 over 2 is 1. 10 over 2 is 5. So this is what we have. 1, 5. That will be the answer to the equation, and that's A. Let's move on to the next one. Remember to hit the subscribe button, like this video. See, you don't understand. Like this very video to push it out to everybody. Like this video, share it, and leave a comment. Leave a comment. So, question 32. Question 32 says, find the equation of the straight line joining 1, 3 and minus 3, minus 6. Now, when this happens, for questions like this, what we're going to do is very simple. So first, let's write x1, y1, x2, y2. So what am I going to do here? To get the equation of a line, this is what we're going to use. Y minus y1 over x minus x1 equal y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. That's what we're going to be using. So this will be y minus, what is y1? y1 is 3 divided by x minus, what is x1? x1 is 1 equal y2 is minus 6 minus, what is y1? 3 divided by x2 is minus 3 minus, what is x1? x1 is 1. So this will be y, take away 3 divided by x, take away 1. Minus 3 minus 6 is minus 9. Minus 3 minus 1 is minus 4. So the minus will take care of themselves. Then I can cross multiply. So this will be 4 times y minus 3. Then this will be 9 times x minus 1. 4 times y is 4y. 4 times this is minus 12. 9 times x is 9x. 9 times minus 1 is minus 9. Now, the option will tell us how our answer should look. Okay? So everything should be equal to 0. So I'm going to take everything to this other side. So this will be 4y minus 9x minus 12 plus 9 equal to 0. Take note, the sign of these two will not change because they've been here before. But you see this 9x that is coming over, it will change to minus. Then this plus 9 that is coming over will change, sorry, this minus 9 that is coming over will change to a plus 9. So this is 4y minus 9x minus 12 plus 9 is minus 3. And the answer to the equation will become D. That will be the answer to this very question. All right. So let's go to the next one, question 33. In a Venn diagram, the shaded region is dash. Pick an option. Pick an option. All right, so let's continue. Now, the thing is this, when you look at this set, you notice one thing that stands out. The part that is shaded is just Q. The part that is shaded is just Q, meaning P and arrow. P and arrow, so that's P union arrow. It was not shaded. So P union arrow, listen up, if they shade P and arrow together, it will become P union arrow. But because they did not shade it, this will become P union arrow intersection. It was not shaded. I said intersection, complement, sorry. This means complement. So what was shaded was not P union arrow. That's the meaning. This thing you see at the top means not. So this guy is saying that the part that was shaded is not P union arrow. Then Q was shaded, so this has to be intersection Q. So the part P union arrow was not shaded. And then intersection what? Q. That will be the answer to the equation. So the answer is what? C. Let's move to the next one. The next one is question 34. So the question says the set 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is equivalent to dash. So which of these options will be the answer? Now this is a very simple question. A set is equivalent when the member of each set are the same. Remember that when you are arranging sets, it must not be in an orderly way. It must not. So in this very question, our answer is going to be D, because D contains exactly the same number. Even if it is scattered, it is still going to be what? D. There is 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So it's still the same, because the question says which of these is equivalent. The answer cannot be A, because 5 was repeated. The answer cannot be B, because there's no 5 to even start with. The answer cannot be C, because even though it was arranged, there's still no 5. So the answer is going to be what? The answer is going to be D. Let's move on to the next one, question 35. Y is partly constant and partly varies as x. When x is 3, y is 7. And when x is 5, y is 11. You have to find the constant of variation. Now this is partial variation. You should pause this video and try to solve this. It's a partial variation. And in partial variations, there are always two constants. So let's solve this question. Question 35. So there are always two constants. So whenever you have a partial variation, there must be a simultaneous equation. Now take note, here's a good way to write it without wasting time. So y is partly constant. So y is equal to a constant a. And, so that's plus, it partly varies as x. So this will be b, which is another constant, then you put your x. This is the best way to represent a partial variation, where a and b are the constants, because it's varying twice. It's partly constant and then partly varies. So when x is 3, y is 7. So this means y is 7 equal a plus 3b, because x is what? 3, equation 1. The next one, x is 5, y is 11. So y is 11 equal a plus x is 5. So this will be 5b, equation 2. Now what do we do here? We're going to use elimination method. Using elimination method, we're going to subtract both equations, because a minus a is 0. So let's eliminate a. So we're going to be subtracting both equations. So we're going to subtract. So this will be 7 minus 11 equal to 3b minus 5b. 7 minus 11 is minus 4. 3b minus 5b is minus 2b. Now to get the value of b, divide both sides by what? By minus 2. Divide by minus 2. So minus 4 over minus 2 is equal to minus 2b over minus 2. So this will be 2 equal to b. So we've been able to find the value of what? The value of what? B. Now that we find the value of a, any of the equation, let's use any of the equation. So 7 is equal to a plus 3b. Now, anywhere we see b, we're going to be putting 2. So this will be 7 equal a plus 3 times 2. That's 7 equal a plus 6. So when I take my 6 to this side, 7 minus 6 will be a, so that's 1 equal to a. And of course, when writing your constants, the a should come first, or whatever alphabet you put here should come first. So the answer will be 1, 2. So that's going to be b. That will be the answer, and that's b. Next, a very similar question too, just like this, question 36. Question 36 says, P is partly constant and varies partly as Q. So it's still going to be the same. So this is P this time around, equal A plus BQ. Because it says it's partly constant and partly varies as Q. So when P is 32, the value of Q is 16. So this will be A plus 16B. Equation 1. Then, when P is 20, this will be A plus, our Q this time around is 12. Equation 2. Again, we want to subtract both equations. So this will be 32 minus 20. Now, A minus A is gone already, so this will be 16 minus 12B. 32 minus 20 is 12. 16b minus 12b is 4b. So we're going to divide both sides by 4. When you divide both sides by 4, you will get 3. So b is equal to what? 3. But will this be odd? No. Let's go and find the value of a. So remember that 32 is equal a plus 16b. So now anywhere we see b, we're going to be putting what? 3. So this will be 32 equal a plus 16 bracket 3. This is 32 equal a plus 48. Now, we're going to take our 48 to this side. So this is 32 minus 48 equal to a. When you subtract this, then you're going to be getting minus 16 equal to a. So this is what you get. Now take note, this is not all. Because the equation says find p. The equation says find p when q is equal to 28. Find P when Q is equal to 28. So, the values we've gotten, let's put it back into this expression. So, P is equal A plus BQ. So, this will be P equal, what's our value of A? Minus 16 plus B is 3, so this will be 3Q. So, now we know the relationship or the formula connecting them, or the law of variation. In case the equation says find the law of variation, this is what you do. In case it says so, this is where you will end. But the equation says find P when Q is 28. So this will be P equal minus 16 plus 3 times 28 because Q is now 28. So this is minus 16 plus 28 times 3. Let's see, 56, 28, 84. So this is what you're going to be getting. So minus 16 plus 84. If it's minus 14, 84, this will be 70. And then when you subtract, let me see in the option, 2, that will be 68. So that will be the answer to the equation. So we have what? We have 68. So this is what we have for this. Let's move on to the next one, question 37. So for question 37, it says, find the sum of the entries in the inverse of this matrix. So we have 1, 3, 2, 5. So you need to sum up the entries when you found the inverse. So remember that inverse of a matrix is 1 over determinant times the adjoint. So first of all, let's find the determinant. To find determinant, we have to say 1 times 5 is like we're cross multiplying. So that's 5. Then 2 times 3, that's 6. So 5 minus 6 will give us minus 1. So that will be the determinant. So let's come back here. All right. Oh, sorry. Okay. So inverse is 1 over determinant times adjoint. So this is 1 over, our determinant is minus 1. Then adjoint, for you to find adjoint of a 2 by 2, what you do is you flip this one, you interchange them. So 5 will go here, 1 will come here. So that will be 5, 1. Then this other diagonal here, 2 and 3, give them minus. So that's minus 2, minus 3. Now, 1 over minus 1 is still minus 1. Into 5, minus 3, minus 2, and 1. Okay, so let's multiply everything inside there by minus 1. Minus 1 times 5 is minus 5. Minus 1 times minus 2 is 2. Minus 1 times minus 3 is 3. Minus 1 times 1 is minus 1. So this is the inverse of the matrix. But what does it tell us? It says find the sum of the entries. That's what the equation says. Find the sum of the entries. So I'm going to sum up everything here. So I'm going to add everything. So this will be minus 5 plus 2 plus 3 minus 1. Minus 5 plus 2 is what? Is minus 3. Minus 3 plus 3 is 0. Then 0 minus 1 is minus 1. So the answer to that question is going to be what? It's going to be D. Now let's move on to the next question. Question number 38. Question 38 says, given that P is equal the matrix 1, 3, 1, 3, 2 minus 5, and then Q is 3, 1, minus 7, 2, you have to find P plus 2Q. So here's what we're going to do. Now P, this is the matrix P, so we're going to write P, 1, 2, 3 minus 5. Then it says plus 2Q, that's double of this one. So this will be 2 brackets, 3, 1 minus 7, 2. Now this one will stay the same because there's no number in front of it. So this will be 1, 2, 3 minus 5. Plus, now every single thing inside here will be multiplied by 2. 2 times 3 is 6. 2 times minus 7 is minus 14. 2 times 1 is 2. 2 times 2 is 4. Now next thing we do is to add up the elements that are in the same position. So 1 plus 6. 3 plus minus 14, so that's 3 minus 14. 2 plus 2. And then minus 5 plus 4. Now this will become 7 minus 11. 2 plus 2 is 4, and then this is minus 1. So the answer to that one is going to be A. So that's for that very one. Now question 39. From the table above, estimate the mode of the distribution. You can pause the video and give that a try. Okay, so this is question 39. It says what is the mode of this very distribution. What we're going to do is there's a formula for mode. There's a formula for mode. So the lower class plus height bracket, oh that should be bigger, bracket lower boundary, then this would be, let me see, Fm minus F1 divided by 2Fm minus F1 minus F2. Okay, so that's the formula for mode. Now, the first thing you want to know is, what is the modal class? In what class do we have the mode? Mode is the number that has the most frequency, the number that occurs the most. So in this case, it's 12. 12 is the highest frequency because frequency is how many times something has occurred. So in this case, it's going to be what? It's going to be 12. Now, so our modal class is going to be 30 to 39. So this is the class where the mode should be. But we don't know if it's going to be 30, 31, 32. We don't know if it's going to be even 39. So this is the formula we're going to use. Now our lower boundary, this is 30. If you take a look at this previous one, we have 29. So what number is in between 29 to 30? That would be 29.5. Or you could say this is 29 plus 30 over 2. You're going to get 29.5. Plus the height. You could say, what is 30 to 39? There are different ways of doing this. So 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39. So that's 10. 10 is going to be the height. Then Fm is the frequency of the mode, or 12. Then minus f1 is the frequency before it, so that's 6. Divided by 2 times fm, which is 12, minus f1, which is 6. Then f2 is the frequency after it, so that's 8. Now this will be 29.5 plus 10 into 12 minus 6 is 6, divided by 2 times 12 is 24, minus 6 minus 8. Now this is 29.5 plus 10 times 6 will give us 60, divided by 24 minus 6 minus 8 should be 10. So 0 we cancel out 0. So this will be 6. So 29.5 plus 6, this will be 35.5. So that is what the mode will be, 35.5. But clearly, the option does not have that. The option has 34.5. So it's best to pick it. Sometimes they make mistakes. So that's why it looks like that. So the last question, remember, hit the subscribe button if you've been benefiting. Write down these questions. Take a look at them over and over. So question 40. If the probability of death is Q and probability of survival is P, find the probability of one death and one survival in an accident involving 2 persons. Now, death is Q. Probability of death is Q. Probability of survival is P. Now, we need one death and one survival of 2 persons. So probability one death, one survival. Now, the thing is, if we have 2 people, it can happen in 2 ways. Either the first person dies, first dies, second survives, or the first survives and the second dies. That's how this can happen up. So for this first way, so dying is Q, so this will be Q times surviving is P plus, so it can either happen this or this way. So if the first survive, that will be P times dying is Q. Now Q times P is PQ plus P times Q again PQ. PQ plus PQ is 2PQ. Now clearly from the option, there is no 2PQ. That's the sad thing again. So it's still going to just be us picking A because A is PQ. That's the closest. But that's not the right answer. The right answer should be 2PQ. JAMB make mistakes. And the sad thing is they do not have that conscience to give you a bonus. So I don't think they do. So just pick PQ. Now, this is the end of this very video. You've learned a lot. I know and I trust that you've learned enough. So what you do is, in the next few videos, I have more than, as you can see, there's still more for me to treat. There's still more. So because the exam would have different paper types. Those who even write in the morning will not be same with those who write in the evening. So I have lots of questions and I'm going to be treating these questions. They are all important. So do well to stay put. Stay where you are. The next video will be released very soon. Bye.